15% of the world's population, or approximately 1 billion people, live with a disability. The United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs. Truly, they are the world's largest minority. Now close your eyes. Imagine if you only had one arm, or one leg, or even one eye. Tell me, how would you feel? Would you constantly struggle with weakness? Or would you prevail with your strength? Don't know the answer? Well, you don't want to miss out on today's story, because today, you'll be unlocking another key to untapping your potential. Welcome to Untapping Your Potential, where we will share with you motivational stories, motivational figures, comeback stories, and public speaking tips that will keep you growing and inspire you to take action. Once upon a time, a young boy who was born without a left arm was sent to judo lessons by his mother in a bid to help his confidence. At first, the boy didn't really want to go. He thought to himself, how in the world can I learn judo with one arm? But thanks to his mother's persistence, he started taking lessons from an old Japanese master. And surprisingly, the boy was doing well. But he couldn't understand why, even after 3 months, the master only taught the boy one move. Just one technique, over and over again. Every now and then, the one-armed boy would notice the other students practicing various techniques. So he couldn't help but ask one day, "Sensei, shouldn't I also be learning the other moves?" But the master replied, "No, just concentrate on this one technique. Go on, keep practicing." A few months later, the state Judo Championships were held, and the older master entered the young boy into the competition with high hopes. The little boy was beyond terrified, but he still wanted to give it his best. The first match started with the one-armed boy grabbing his opponent, and much to everyone's surprise, the boy easily flipped him to the ground. It was an instant win. Soon after, the second round began. This round was a little more difficult, but the one-armed boy managed to pull it off with the same trick. He used his one and only technique and won yet again. The third and fourth rounds went the same way. And believe it or not, the young boy found himself in the tournament final against a much bigger, stronger, and tougher opponent who had won the tournament 3 years in a row. From size and height alone, it appeared that the young boy was outmatched. The referee, as well as the tournament organizer, approached the master and asked him if he wanted to withdraw his student. The sensei walks up to the boy and simply tells him what he's heard all throughout his practice. Just concentrate on your one technique. The master then responds to the referee and the organizer, "Let him continue. He will fight." The entire audience was on the edge of their seats as the final match began. In fact, no one expected the boy to even get this far. Even a loss here, the crowd would consider it a moral win. The opponent took a step forward and grabbed the boy by the waist, pulling him towards him. For a brief moment, it appeared that it was all over. But then something unexpected happened. The young boy reached out with his right hand, stepped in, using the larger opponent's momentum against him, and boom, he threw his much bigger, stronger, and tougher opponent flat on his back. The match was won by the one-armed boy. The crowd went wild as the boy was crowned the state judo champion. On the way home, the young boy and his master went on every move in every match. Fortunately, the boy finally worked up the courage to ask what had been bothering him for so long. "Sensei," he said, "how did this happen?" He was still very confused. Was this a setup? Did they simply allow me to win because I only have one arm? I only knew one technique, but these guys knew hundreds and had far more experience than I did. The wise master responded saying, "No, you won fair and square, and there are 2 reasons why you won. You won because you mastered one of the most difficult techniques in judo. The master then looks at the boy and says, and because the only known defense for that move is for your opponent to grip your left arm. See, I told you, you only need this one technique. Shocked in astonishment, the boy then realized what appeared to be his greatest weakness, in reality, became his greatest strength. Everyone has their weakness. You've got them too. But this weakness is highlighted by the voice in your head. The one fixated on your flaws to the point where your entire identity starts to revolve around them. Or maybe your weakness is aspects of your life that should be pushed under the rug. If you can convince yourself that your flaws aren't real, are they really flaws in the first place? Well, the answer is yes, they are. Hiding the fact that you fall short in certain areas does not make them go away. Similarly, focusing too much on your flaws leads to low self-esteem and low confidence. Sometimes you are led to believe that you have flaws and begin to blame them on circumstances, on other people, or even yourself. But you never know when your weakness will become your strength. You are being tested not to expose your weaknesses, but rather to discover your strengths. You don't realize how strong you are until you're confronted your greatest weaknesses. If you recognize your weakness, consider what you can do to turn them into strengths. Here are 5 keys you can use to transform each weakness into a strength. Unlock your strength by first acknowledging your weakness. True, vulnerabilities are raw, messy, and often filled with irrational kinds of emotions. However, where there are flaws, there is also depth and truth. There is honesty and potential. There is possibility. Allow the possible to overcome what you thought was impossible. Second, you must confront your fears. Third, learn from your mistakes. Fourth, accept your discomfort. Recognize what makes you uncomfortable. Find out why, and as Sheryl Sandberg would say, lean into it. Finally, fifth, embrace your differences. You might frequently believe that sharing similarities with others is the most effective strategy to gain strength. It is a strategy, but it's not the most effective. Weaknesses serve to humble you, to remind you that you have things to work on and improve on. You can transform that weakness into something special with time, hard work, and effort. Remember, you are unique and important, so never think of yourself as a failure. Katie Allender said it best. Everyone has moments of weakness, but that doesn't make you weak. Thanks for watching this video. How would you like to hear more motivational stories on a consistent basis? Do me a favor and support the channel by sharing, comment below, and please make sure to like and hit that subscribe button to get the latest updates. Soon, you will be on your way to feeling inspired.